everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the new Sanguinary Guard. Here they are, behold them. They've been sent to me early by Games Workshop to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So, we're going to jump right in and we're going to start doing that. They've all been primed in Wraithbone, and well, we're basically just going to focus here on the banner guy. However, we will probably pick out the Inferno pistol over here, so don't worry too much about that. But we built them all with spears, but this is of course definitely usable for your swords because the blades are the same. Now, as mentioned, they've been primed in Wraithbone, and the colour we're going to be using first is, unsurprisingly, Retributor Armour. And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of their armour and the jump pack and the helmet, excluding their right shoulder pads, these ones over here. But otherwise, have at you. So with all of that Retributor Armour applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to shade it, and we're going to use a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Fyreslayer Flesh. And we're going to get this over the top of all of the gold. Just like this. You don't have to be 100% neat here because, well, we are going to be relayering it. However, it's a good time to practice with your contrast paints. Getting a nice smooth coat. So with all that Fyreslayer Flesh applied, we're now going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to use this to paint in the joints and the leather, the casings of the bolt guns and the Inferno pistol, and the haft of the spears. So with that all done, our next port of call is to take some Baal Red, and we're going to apply this over the top of their tabards and the field of their right shoulders, the one we left behind when we did the gold. With all of that Baal Red applied, we're then going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Blood Angels Red. And we're going to apply this over the top. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Cygor Brown, and we're going to apply this over the top of the field of the flag inside this border. So with that done, we're just waiting for it to fully dry at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some skeleton Horde and we're going to apply this over the top of all the parchment scattered around all of the models. For example, this bit here. Like that. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the outside of the banner. On the other side of that border. So with that then done, we're going to take some Volupus Pink and we're going to apply this over the top of the wax seals. Like so. But what we're also going to do with the Volupus Pink is we're going to apply this over the top of the brown. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Akhelian Green and we're going to apply this over the top of any blades. So this will apply to the swords as well. That is if you've built swords. And with that Akhelian Green applied, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the white details. So this is going to be all of the winged shapes, including this section here on the banner. And with that done, our next job is going to be to take some thinned down Castellax Bronze. I'm going to apply this over the top of the heat shield of our Inferno pistol. With that Castellax Bronze applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. And we've just got a little bit more gold to clean up. So we've got the little gem here on the banner, as well as the star and the border. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our remaining details. So with that all done, we're now going to add a couple of shades. And the first of these are going to be some Nuln Oil. And we're going to use this over the top of the haft of the spear, the black of the casing on our bolt guns and the Inferno pistol, and we're going to use this to shade all the silver. And with that done, we're then going to use some Fyreslayer Flesh. I'm not going to thin it down this time because we don't need to. I'm going to use this to shade those extra bits of gold we did on the banner. So with those shades applied, our Sanguinary Guard are now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. And they're looking pretty good, however, we're not going to leave them there. No, we're going to take them to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some layers, some highlights, and a little bit of blending. So, what we're going to do, we're going to pop these guys to one side as per. I'm going to gather up our standard bearer. Now, the colour we're going to be using first in our next steps is some thinned down Retributor Armour. I'm going to be using this to relayer all of the armour. Just looking for these kind of wide open panels like that one there. I'm going to avoid any recesses. And we're not going to worry about things like the little teardrop gems and stuff like that, because we don't need to. So with all of that Retributor Armour now applied, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of the gold using a roughly 2 parts Stormhost Silver to 1 part Retributor Armour mix. And as mentioned, we are just going to use this now to highlight all of the gold around the models. So with all of that gold highlighted, you should now have some beautifully shiny, wonderful armour and gold details all around the Sanguinary Guard. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick with the theme of getting all the metallics done. Our next colour is going to be some thinned down Ironbreaker. Now mercifully there isn't as much of this to do, so I'll use this to highlight all of the silver. With all that Ironbreaker applied, we're then going to finish off the metallic highlighting by taking some thinned down Runelord Brass. I'm going to use this to highlight the heat shield on our Inferno pistol. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight the black details. So with that done, our next port of call is to take some Corax White. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use this to relayer the kind of large bits of white on the banner. Like that sort of thing. However, on the smaller details, such as the shoulder and the fins on the back, we're just going to use this Corax White to highlight. With that Corax White all applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Evil Sunz Scarlet. I'm going to use this to highlight the red tabards. So with all of that Evil Sunz Scarlet applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Fire Dragon Bright. I'm going to use this to add a couple of little spot highlights to that red. So what we want to do is we want to pick out the sharpest areas. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Fulgrim Pink. I'm going to use this to highlight our wax seals. Like that. And with that Fulgrim Pink applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to highlight the parchment and the skeleton horde areas of the banner. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Word Bearer's Red. I'm going to use this to highlight that banner. So with that all done, our next port of call is to work on the blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Leviadon Blue. I'm going to apply this over the top of the blade up to around about there. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, then we're going to feather away the excess and blend it in to our Akhelian Green undercoat like that. I'm going to do this on both sides of the blade. Just like that. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we feather away the excess like that. With that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Temple Guard Blue, and we're going to use this to highlight the blade. And so with that Temple Guard Blue applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Baharroth Blue. I'm going to use this to add some sharper highlights towards the tip of the spear. Like that sort of thing. I'm going to do that on both sides of the blade. However, the other thing we're going to do with the Baharroth Blue is we're going to use this to start drawing in just these little bits of lightning that cascade across the blade. And so with that all done, we're then going to once again take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to add an even smaller highlight to the blade edge. So you just want to kind of pick out the very top like that. I'm going to do that again on both sides like so. But what we also want to do with the Corax White is we want to add a little dot of it wherever the lightning intersects with each other or over the top of the middle of the blade. And so with that all done, it is now time to finish off the Sanguinary Guard by taking some Blood Angels Red. And we're going to apply this over the top of the gems scattered about the models. Just like that. And of course, as always, there's one thing I forgot to mention, which is to take some Ardcoat. And we're going to apply this over the top of those gems. But then after this, I'm going to base them in the same style as my Nuclear Wastelands recipe, which is available here on YouTube. It's a very old video, but it is how I paint all of my Blood Angels bases. And so with their bases now complete, our Sanguinary Guard are now finished. I really like the addition of the spears to the Sanguinary Guard loadouts. I think it's a really, really nice touch. It does also mean that if you want to, you could probably grab some of the Dawnbreaker cohort stuff to do some interesting kit bashes here and there, which I think would look awesome as well. But yeah, I like them. They're fine. They're good. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.